Hi, I'm Udeichi, the Bounce Up expert. I teach individuals, business owners, organizations, and even nations how to leverage adversity, setback, and crisis as launchpad for exploits beyond your imagination. Because if you look at the way the world is going, things keep changing. And it's very important that we understand the environment we are in and how to be able to bounce up. The bounce up potential activation model, which I did a series earlier, is not just a strategy. It is a divine pattern modeled perfectly in the life, in the death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. If you look at the case of Joseph, you will see the same thing play out. And so I would like to go through the various stages. In the last video, I talked about the seed phase, where I meant us to realize that that potential is inside you. And after that, we'll have the pressure phase, where one is boxed in, where crises, adversities, curveballs arise. The third phase is the discovery phase. The fourth phase is the alignment, and the fifth phase is the launch phase. And today, I want to look at it from a different perspective, but it's all part of the same model. And today, I'm going to look at it first from the point of betrayal. Remember, this week is a very important week in Christendom, because on Friday, we'll have what we call the Good Friday that marks the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. On Saturday and Sunday, the resurrection. So let's look at it from the first phase, which is the betrayal, the breaking point. It is a system where there's a disruption. And just like the way Jesus was betrayed by Judas, many bounce-up journeys begin with a sting, a betrayal, a failure, and unexpected crisis. It feels like a personal collapse, but it is actually the trigger for transformation, such that if one processes accurately over a period of time, you look back at that incident and then you're happy, you're excited that it came to pass. Because looking back in the journey of life and the course of our businesses and our transactions, we have had situations whereby people come into the system and then they disrupt it to fit into the new model that they want to deploy. And then at those points, at our end, we look at it and it seems as everything is scattering. And at the earlier stages, due to the lack of understanding that we had, we used to kick against it. But over a period of time, following careful observation of the entire thing, we understood it was a prod from the universe for us to come up here. And so when we find ourselves in such situations, we don't kick against it. We embrace it, understanding that it is all part of the process and we have never lost it. And so the first phase is what can be classified as the betrayal. The second phase is the phase of the crucifixion, which is a very painful process. This is where the pain is public. One is stretched. You are mocked. You are misunderstood. Like Jesus on the cross, you are dying to self. You are dying to pride. You are dying to comfort. You are dying to control. It is the most uncomfortable stage, but it is necessary for what is coming. Because, like I said in the other video, you cannot put a new wine into an old wineskin. There has to be a mind renewal. And then at this period, it calls for great reflection on how one has been doing things. And then the third phase is the process of death. The silent pause is a process of recalibration. Here, all seems lost. You feel buried. But death is not a defeat. It's divine preparation. Like the tomb moment, this is where old versions of you die and God begins a deeper work out of sight, a deeper work right on the inside of you. There's great renewal. There are patterns that one has been used to over a period of time are being changed. There are adjustments that are being made at this time. Because on the outside, there seems to be stagnation. On the outside, nothing seems to be working. On the outside, when one wakes up in the morning, it's like, oh, it's another day. How do I get out of this? This is the silent pause, the season of death. But then after the death comes the resurrection. It is a time for reinvention. It is a time that a new you begins to emerge. Suddenly you rise. Not the same way you went down, but with power, with clarity and authority. The same way Jesus rose with glory. This is where you emerge stronger, wiser, unstoppable, because of the new you, because of the work that has gone on the inside of you, because of the new knowledge base you have acquired, because of the new understanding of how life works, because of the new insights and understanding you have. A new you emerges. This was the process that went through the life of Joseph. He went through the process, he understood it, and he worked it out perfectly. And that brings us to the fifth phase, which is a phase of deployment. It is a phase of global relevance. This is the place from resurrection to global relevance. The gospel of Jesus Christ is now changing lives across nations, billions all over the world. Likewise, your bounce up story isn't just for you. It is a tool for influence. It is a tool for leadership, and is a tool for impact across industries, across territories. I look back and I see in my space opportunities, times where things came into my space. I never invited them, but they came. And then the journey started. Initially, I would resist them. But as time grew, as I began to see recurrent patterns, I sat down and I began to study it. And in the process of study, I began to understand what it was all about. That a season was coming to an end and a new season needed to come up. And that new season came with a lot of things. That new season came with a renewal process. That new season came with power. The bounce up model is a divine call to rise beyond pain. It is a call to step into purpose and become a vessel for generational impact. Because your greatest impact begins where your greatest pain once lived. So I have a question for you. At this point, where is your greatest pain? At this point, what is that thing that you wish has changed? Because that is the starting point for your bounce up. The world is waiting for you at that point. Generations are waiting for you at that point. It is the opportunity for you. Don't miss it. Don't mourn. Don't lament. Embrace it. Rejoice over it. Thank God it came into your space, and you will see the process begin to take shape from one phase to the other. Jesus has risen. We are more than conquerors through Christ that loved us, came to the world, died for our sake, that we may have unlimited access to all that he had given unto us as an inheritance. The world awaits your manifestation. God bless you and happy Easter. Thank you.